In this electoral process, so I'm going to ask you, have you voted? A lot of what we're seeing, the whole evangelical movement for the other side, is really more to me a political movement than it is a religious movement. Because, in my personal opinion, you can't, if you're really a person of faith, you have to believe the words of Christ, right? Jesus says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. There's only 2 commandments that Christ talks about in the Gospels. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself. If we love one another, then we don't spew hatred. We don't spew division. We don't use demeaning and denigrating language around each other.
Once a year, I've started recently chaperoning them.
We don't need some narcissistic misogynist using lewd and vulgar language to protect us, whether we want it or not. I think what we have to get to is when we get to the point of knowing that we should not just be a one-issue voter. We shouldn't hang our hat just on abortion. And we shouldn't label people. I consider myself pro-life in this. If you are going to say you're pro-life, to me, then you're going to vote for things that support life. You're going to vote for everybody to have health care. You're going to vote for everybody to have access to education and to housing. You're going to vote that we maybe reconsider the death penalty. We're one of the few nations that still has a death penalty. If I'm pro-life, I got to be pro-life across the spectrum of life.
And everything in them, he remains faithful forever.
But the ultimate should be that I have a respect for the humanity of every human person. And that's a part of how I vote. Is there a respect for other people? Right? How do we care for one another? Is there respect? And yes, it did influence my vote. I don't do hateful rhetoric.
Election of our lifetime. We can't stop, and we won't stop fighting for justice. We will not be deterred by victory.
I did cast a ballot for Kamala Harris, and the reason why I casted a ballot for her is because I think she's looking to implement a more inclusive culture in America. I think that this division that we've had over the last 8 years, and I think everybody's tired of it. I think we've just had enough of that division.
So my religion is to vote for fairness and justice. The pastor spoke about justice, and that's what we're going after, justice for all, so that we're all equal, have a participation. And we have that participation when we go to the poll and vote.
It played a role as far as my upbringing was concerned, and what I was taught what right and wrong meant. So that played a big part in determining who I voted for.
Okay, this looks like nobody's here. People are very frightened and very angry. And I understand their fear and their anger, but it's taking us to some very dark places.
religion. I'm Christian, and he played a lot because I see a lot of people suffering, and I don't see Biden or Harris doing anything for the people. Mainly that's what it is.
My belief with the Lord is that I trust in Him, I have faith in Him, and as far as our system going on with our voting, I trust in the people that's going to be voting. You know, whether they for Kamala Harris or they're for Trump, I mean, I just hope everything turns out well.
Look, I got one guitar solo. Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that former President Trump provokes, nurtures hate. You know, that's his rhetoric. That's the way he talks. I think he's personally undependable and unstable. But beyond that, you know, I think that you can be a Christian and be Republican or Democrat. I don't think that God cares what party you belong to. So what we're going to try to do is go back to the woman that